I do want to get to this whole issue of judges. And again, I want to talk a lot about this 100-day mark. It's huge. But judges, by the way, have just gone wild. And we always talk about following the law and the Constitution and Trump and constitutional crises. But we had two big events that have happened that I think are critical. And I think you think about what's happening overall, right? These judges telling people that the president has to bring back non-citizens, restore funding for DEI, which again, he's the executive, restore funding to sanctuary cities. He can't force proof of citizenship for a voter registration mandate. He can't dissolve agencies like the Voice of America and the State Department. I mean, like, he's the head of the executive branch and the judicial branch is telling him what to do. This is nuts. But there were two other issues that I thought were just insane. Kash Patel announced that the FBI had arrested this judge, Hannah Dugan, out of Milwaukee, for obstruction because this judge literally, and I'll just read you what Kash said. He said, "We believe Judge Dugan intentionally misdirected federal agents away from the subject to be arrested in a courthouse, Eduardo Flores Ruiz, allowing the subject, an illegal alien, to evade arrest." Now, just think about this for a second. The judge is taking this person who is broken our laws and saying, hey, I want to help you evade this. Pam Bondi explained it very well. Take a listen.
So rare for victims to want to cooperate. They wanted to cooperate. They were sitting in the courtroom with the state prosecutor. The judge learns that ICE was outside to get the guy because he had been deported in 2013, came back in our country, commits these crimes, charged with committing these crimes, victims in court. Judge finds out. She goes out in the hallway, screams at the immigration officers. She's furious, visibly shaken, upset, sends them off to talk to the chief judge. She comes back in the courtroom. You're not going to believe this. Takes the defendant and the defense attorney back in her chambers, takes them out a private exit and tells them to leave. While a state prosecutor and victims of domestic violence are sitting in the courtroom.
Wow. Can you believe that? I mean, literally, the judge is taking the accused, the person who has been illegally in our country now for the second time, and saying, hey, here's how to escape. That's the judge. What the heck is happening? Even my buddy Dan Turrentine, the Democrat on the morning meeting, agrees. He tweeted this out. Thought a lot about the Wisconsin judge's arrest. When you look at the facts, her behavior is inexcusable and indefensible. It's just because she is Judge 1, initially startled and shocked. D's don't take the bait. But it's not just her. There's another judge, this guy Cano, who the judge and his wife harbored a member of Tren de Aragua. Okay, this is this violent gang. And again, let me have Pam Bondi explain what happened.
I mean, when you look at the associations with this violent Venezuelan gang, Tren de Aragua, and this person that they harbored in their home, he was showing signs through clothing, we were told, tattoos. There was evidence through voice messages and text messages of his association to TDA. So what charges will Cano and his wife face, if any?
So Judge Cano, soon to be former Judge Cano, got his charges were just unsealed. He's charged with obstruction. He admitted post Miranda. He took one of the TDA members' cell phones himself, took it, beat it with a hammer, destroyed it, and then walked the pieces to a city dumpster to dispose of it to protect him. The wife also is charged with destroying evidence. Sandra, not only that, this TDA member, and he had on a necklace that said kill, something about death. He had tattoos all over him. He also had on his cell phone pictures of two decapitated victims, victims, decapitated, gruesome photos. And he was sending them out, and whoever he was sending them to was sending back saying, hey, you need to be careful. You shouldn't be sending these. You shouldn't be texting these photos out. Not only that, these two, the judge and his wife, gave him assault rifles that belonged to their daughter. That's what they're charged with. in the criminal report affidavit, he goes to a shooting range with these assault rifles, with a suppressor, with other known TDA members, and they're shooting. This is the last person that we want in our country, nor will we ever tolerate a judge or anyone else harboring them.
Okay, so when you start hearing about the rule of law and constitutional crises, think about this. Now, 2 judges, aside from all the stuff that I started with, all these judges at the district court level talking about how they won't let the president be the executive of the branch that he was duly elected by the American people. But now you have judges literally harboring illegals and trying to let them escape. So the next time you hear some of these folks on the left lecture about Donald Trump and the rule of law and all this other stuff, remind them that this is how judges are acting. Judges. It's unbelievable. But I want to tell you, because it's even worse, the Democrats, by the way, have started to really gaslight us. Because I know that we haven't heard much as much about our good friend Abrego Garcia, who's now in El Salvador prison. But the chair of the Democratic National Committee, his name is Ken Martin. You probably don't know because he hasn't done anything significant so far and is kind of so far been unimpressive. But he has been very clear what he thinks of our good friend, Mr. Abrego Garcia. Take a look.
Well, I don't have a message to his wife. I mean, look, I just disagree with the idea that he hasn't been offered due process.
This is absolutely outrageous. Americans should be up in arms. This is unconstitutional. Kidnapping a legal resident and sending them to a foreign prison, this is beyond anything we've ever seen before. This is not a dictatorship. This is a democracy, and all Americans should expect more from Donald Trump and J.D. Vance in this moment.
Okay, I mean, look, I get this is like the hip cool thing, like he pretends to watch a clip and then they put it on Instagram and he's just so shocked at this. Like, give me a break. I get it. This is them trying to look cool and create like a viral video. Like, here, randomly looking at video of J.D. Vance, and I'm going to give you my non-rehearsed answer. But stop for a second and realize this. We've talked about this over and over again. This is not a good guy. He is in this country illegally, ordered by a court to be deported. His wife had filed a domestic violence report against him. I mean, I could go on and on. He's a member of MS-13, and yet this is how he describes him, the chair of the Democratic National Committee. Guys, at some point, I'm like, I can't, like, they deserve all this. It's just crazy. All right. Before we get into the forward-looking stuff, I do want to just say it was First Lady Melania Trump's birthday over the weekend. The White House had released a ton of photos. I had a great photo that I put up on Instagram of my time with her. I think the world of her. I tell people all the time, I would never have gotten the job that I did and held it for as long as I did if it wasn't for Mrs. Trump. She is a kind, gracious person, always good to me. She is very underestimated in how important she is in the decision-making of her husband. I want to tell you a little bit about some of the Sunday shows, because then I'm going to spend the rest of the time really honing in on this 100-day mark, because we need to be prepared for this. But my old boss, Reince Priebus, was on the Sunday shows making the case for this 100-day mark and what the president has accomplished so far. Take a listen to what Reince had to say.
Inflation is down, rates are down, gas prices are down. I think what you're going to see, and I think what was revealing in Scott Bessent's interview, is the next 100 days, which is the rebuilding 100 days, which is cutting deals on the tariffs, which is calming people down as far as where we're going in the economy, the tax cuts that are probably likely coming to the economy. I think the one thing you can say about President Trump is that he's doing exactly with what he said he was going to do.
Boom. Right? Promises made, promises kept. No one out there saying, oh my God, I can't believe he's, focused on immigration or border security or tariffs. He said all that stuff. He's delivering on what he said. And Reince mentioned that Scott Bessent clip. Let's take a listen to what he had to say about where things are.
president is looking forward to the jobs of the future, not the jobs of the past. The goal is to bring back high-performance manufacturing jobs or create high-performance manufacturing jobs. Right now,
how long does that take? I mean, that is such a concern. How long does it take to bring that to the U.S.?
Well,
is there a plan?
Of course, but it's a process. Right now, the U.S. has a barbell economy. We have a very advanced financial system. We have a the exploration and development that is the envy in the world. On the other side, we are a natural resource economy led by energy, which the previous administration tried to stifle. And in between is where working class Americans have lost out. And we want to bring back these manufacturing jobs or create these manufacturing jobs of the future. And we are meeting with companies that want to do this every day.
But you get that? How quick can you get, Martha Raddatz, how quick can you get it done? Can you do it tomorrow? Yeah, I'm sorry. We didn't just blow the manufacturing base in a day. It's going to take a little while to get back. I've said this before, guys. If this was easy, it would have been done. But the opposite is easy. Just continuing the policies, letting manufacturing go, letting countries rip us off. That's the easy part. And I'm going to play you something in a minute that's just going to show you how funny this is because the media has this wrong. They think that everybody hates this and it's nuts. And I don't think that's entirely true. Brooke Rollins, by the way, was talking about how this is affecting farmers. Take a listen to what she said, because again, same message about how we're trying to win for the American people, in this case, farmers and ranchers. Brooke.
We are opening up and expanding markets across the world. I'll be in the UK. I'll be in Vietnam. I will be in Japan. I will be in Brazil. I will be in Peru. This is all in just the coming months. That in the last administration, we went from a $0 trade deficit when President Trump left for agriculture to an almost $50 billion trade deficit after the Biden administration on agriculture. There just wasn't much effort around the world to open these markets up. J.D. Vance was just in India. We see them as a massive trading partner moving forward.
So
if we can come to the right resolution,
there will
in
be
the right
deals.
terms.
So you see there will be deals with other countries, perhaps to make up for whatever the problems are with regard to China?
It is going to be a new era of market expansion around the world, and our team is so committed to that. So I think we fix a lot of what's wrong with the China and the Brazil, et cetera, but we also open up new markets. I mean, countries are knocking on our door right now. They want our goods. Our agriculture products are the best in the world. They're the most productive. We feed not only our country, we feed the world. They're 100% safe. And so that's what a lot of these countries are asking for, and that's what our incredible team in Washington is moving toward.
So the thing that's interesting to me is, have you seen these hats that some of the Trump people are wearing, including President Trump? This is Trump was right about everything. I'm starting to wonder if we're going to have to double down on those hats, because these guys hate the fact that he's fighting, and think about it, everything from the Mahab movement to Doge to whatever. It's fighting for these policies, and the media hates it. But if you think about what Brooke just said, or Secretary Bassett just said, when the president delivers for the American people, we get lower tariffs, we get more market access, whatever. What are they going to say? They're so resistant to this. And then they're just going to gloss over the win like they have with everything else. But I want to show you a clip, because I mentioned this after the Bassett clip. Frank Luntz had this focus group of people, and I want to play you just a couple minutes of it because I want to show you what I'm talking about. The media, if you just watch CNN, or read the New York Times, whatever, you'd think that everyone hates these policies. But watch Frank Luntz, who is no fan of the president, by the way. Watch him in this focus group that he has with people about tariffs.
I need to ask you an issue that no one's brought up and that has crashed your 401ks, most of you. It's your tariffs. Stock market is way down.
It needed a correction.
Oh, so you support it?
Yes. You bet.
Yep.
How many?
And I have to tell you,
how many?
My 401k wasn't impacted at all.
How many? First off, how many of you did not lose any money over the crash of the stock market? One individual, two people. So, Serena,
the Biden administration, I lost more money than the Trump administration by far.
In 2020. In 2022, they crashed it by 25%. Yeah. For the whole year.
No one's upset over this?
No.
Nope.
No.
Nobody.
There's not a
there's an end
single
game here.
40-year period in the history of the stock market where the stock market hasn't appreciated at an average rate of about 7%. It's so, yeah, there's ups and downs and corrections, and sometimes people are foolish and they jump out, buy high, sell low. But if people just get in and stay the course, they'll be just fine.
Yeah, and I was about to say, I'm not a day trader. I try not to look at it very often, which is, I think, a good thing. But I also trust that Trump and all of his advisors that are involved with the tariff issue know what they're doing. So I'm just going to hang on. I know it'll correct at some point. Yeah, I'm not really worried about it.
Okay. So look, as I said, this wasn't some like MAGA focus group. And not one person had a problem. Now, I'm not saying that there's no one. I'm not trying to gloss over that. But I'm saying that like there's this perception of the media that, oh my God, you've got to be pissed off. You've got to hate what's happening. There's a lot of people who get the bigger picture, the plan, the idea of what President Trump's fighting for. If he wanted high ratings, he could easily do this. The guy's a marketing genius. He knows how to do that. He's willing to fight. And he also is betting that the American people get it. That it's not going to be easy. It's not going to happen in 24 hours. And those folks on that focus group reaffirm that feeling. But if you read the media, it's like, what's going on? Now, look, Tuesday marks the 100 days. And I've said this before, if you've been a long-time watcher of this, I believe this will be the most consequential second term, at least in modern history, if not ever. 4 years out of office made a massive difference. By him not going back to back, he didn't have just the same staff doing the same things, pursuing the same policies. Most two-term presidents, they just keep going on autopilot. But the American people had a choice in the election like they never have had, except once before. We could literally compare the policies of Donald Trump's first term with the policies of Biden and Harris. It was like one of those taste tests. We knew which one we liked better, and we chose it overwhelmingly. Policy versus policy. Which one do you like better? We had the ability to actually compare the results of the two candidates, of their policies. Do you like the 4 years of Donald Trump or the Joe Biden years? And the people, the policies, and the process are going to make a difference. President Trump is not just who he surrounded himself with, it's who he's not there with, who he's kept away, the lessons that he's learned of people who are pursuing their own agendas or against his. And he's also got a better team in Congress to get his things through. They're not. Even I remember several times when it was our own team that was stopping things from getting done. They've got the policies. They know exactly what they want to focus on. He came out of the gate, as you guys know, executive order after executive order. He knows the process to get it done. These guys are thinking big, and they're getting it done and delivering. They know that they just don't have to say no, because that's how it's always been done. That's not how it normally works. Trump's saying, I don't care. I'm going to get it done. Think about border security. By the way, one little thought that occurred to me over the weekend on border security. I've always said that border security is about the Dems allowing future voters in, but I think it's more nefarious than that, by the way. Do you realize that the census counts people, not citizens? I don't know that everyone gets that, and I apologize if you do. But so Republicans, by at least one count, would at least have 10 more seats, if not for all the illegals that were counted in districts that are held by Democrats. Think about that for a second. That's probably actually part of this. But the president's made tons of strides on culture and things like this. You know, we talk about the border. Let me just mention a few of these things to you. Again, closing the border, what he did. Onshoring production. Think about this. Already apparently $7 trillion in investment. We've talked about it. Hyundai, SoftBank, Taiwan chip maker, Apple. Boom, boom, boom. He's focused on inflation and making America more affordable again. He's launched the largest deportation in American history. He's dismantled the foreign drug cartels. We've talked about that. He invoked the Enemy Aliens Act. He's going after those gangs, whether it's MS-13 or Tren de Aragua. He's terminating catch and release. He's shutting down the CBP One app that allowed people just to flow into this country. He's ending sanctuary cities, ending the reinstating Mexico, remain in Mexico, putting the tariffs on to reshore jobs, to create a sense of fairness. I mean, all of that kind of stuff that he's going after. It's unbelievable how he's handling that. He's making us energy secure again, and independent again, allowing the exploration of oil and gas, withdrawing from the Paris climate thing, opening Anwar back up again, stopping the silly windmills. I mean, all of those stuff, and the Green New Deal, ending that kind of stuff. He's ending DEI throughout the country, in the military, restoring freedom of speech, getting men out of women's sports, cutting all sorts of ridiculous woke funding. Recognizing two genders, shutting down the Department of Education, making the military strong again, all of those kind of things. And then Doge. We've been talking about this for years, focusing on getting waste, fraud, abuse, efficiencies, duplicity. Go to the site, check it out. Go to doge.gov, savings, go to the savings tab. Just look at the amount of money. Trillions, billions of dollars that are being saved right now. Unbelievable. I mean, they've got a wall of receipts. Check it out. They've got over $160 billion already identified. Don't let anyone tell you that a lot has not been achieved. This is monumental, consequential, unbelievable. It's not, most guys just focus on one or two things. Think about that list that I just read you. And the other thing that I'll tell you that's so different, and I saw this with him in the Oval Office the other day, he's got, they used to call it a swagger, people in Texas, but I think it's a confidence. His approach to everything now is so much different. He's more confident in his action. He's got a level of comfort in the job that he didn't have. He was new to it last time. He's had time to think. It's so much different, so much more focused, delivering for the American people on exactly what he said he was going to do. Well, if you enjoyed this content, make sure to like this video, subscribe, and click the notification bell to get more.